Hello there, everybody. I just got this off Amazon. Disclosure, no, I'm not getting paid for this. No, nothing. I just bought this. Wanted to do some jack-o'-lanterns this year, and I wanted to do something with kind of an LED setup. And this looked kind of cool. Like I said, it's off Amazon. It's about $16.99 was the price, so it's a little on the high side if you're used to something like cheap Chinese junk off eBay. This is a little higher price point than that, but I have been into the package already, just to take a look at it. I was sort of impressed with what I saw, but let's take a look at it here. So it's a set of two lights, two remote control, and there is a little remote control in here as well. Two remote control LED lights designed to go inside of a pumpkin or inside of whatever. They could actually just go on your mantelpiece, really, I guess. But yeah, remote control lights. Take a look at it here. Couple, they almost look like those tap light things you saw as seen on TV a while back. Powered by 3 AAAs, which is handy. A little on-off switch there. Pull out both of these here. Little instruction sheet. Open the back. There's just instructions for the controller. Yeah, it's actually decent English. Yeah, it's not bad. Not too lost in the translation there. Here's the remote. I already took it out of the plastic wrap once. It does have this little tab to keep the battery from being used in transit. Basic functions, on, off, timer settings, 2 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour. I have not tested to see how accurate these are. I have tested the remote to see if it turns on and off and whatnot. But actually, let's just put batteries in these and see how they go. Then I think I'm going to take one of these apart once I'm done, just for fun, hopefully non-destructively, because I'm kind of fond of this. It seems like a nice little light. Nice couple of lights. A little pricey though. I mean, it's it's about $8 per light, which is a little on the high side, but we'll see how they work out. I'm also curious how long these batteries last too. These are just straight generic Costco cells, brand new. But let's see. So let's set it here. Turn it on. And the initial, hopefully it doesn't. Probably going to swamp out the camera here a little bit. The initial mode, I think, when you turn it just to on, is the candle mode. I'm going to turn off my overhead light here. You see, it kind of has, you can just sort of make it out in the, I might actually make it better with the light on. But it has a little bit of a flicker. I guess that's the candle mode, essentially. And it just flickers a little bit. It's actually a nice effect. I've yet to put this inside of an actual pumpkin to see what it looks like. I might put it in like a candle holder later or a mug or something to see how it looks at night. But here's the remote. So I'm going to go ahead, turn it off here. Turns that off. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it. I haven't tested both of these together. I'm curious if I'm assuming it would control both at the same time. Let's see. If I click that on. Oh, help if I put batteries in first. That generally helps these run a little bit better. So stick in a few AAA cells. Okay. Flip that on. And let's see, flip the remote to off. Okay. And I assume if I push on, they'll both go on. Yep, totally. Both in candle mode. So now they have a candle mode and a straight light mode. The straight light mode just stops the flickering. If I click that, you can see it's a little out of focus there. You can see that, they stop flickering when they're in light mode. Back to candle mode. They do have a dimmer feature too. I think it only goes down one step. Up, down, yeah, just one step there. But yeah, kind of cool. Let's see what these look like on the inside. I'm kind of curious. Disclosure, I'm not an electronics expert. I watch channels like Big Clive, Ave, a few others. I'm no expert on assembling electronics. I'm, competent, but not not an engineer or anything. Let me see if I got the right screwdriver. Something long and thin. Let's take the batteries out real quick. Those aside. Yeah, so let's see. This might be a little. Oh, yeah, that's a little too big. What else do I got? This looks thinner. Yeah, that could do it. Yeah. Get that other one? Oopsie. Non-destructive, my eye. Might be enough. Let's see. Oh, yep, there we go. Pull that apart. Oh, interesting. Okay. Just got a little tingle off that. So is that a... Huh. Yeah, it's got a little tingle off the... So that's some kind of... Maybe a MOSFET? I don't know. Again, I'm no expert. Just know the basics. There's a little crystal. I assume that kind of... I'm assuming the crystal controls the... unless that's an antenna. It's either a crystal or an antenna. I honestly don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, on the outside, looks like decent quality. Try to focus here. Yeah. Basic chip in the middle, that little brain box that runs the whole thing. A couple little surface mount parts. I'm wondering if that is that an antenna? Maybe that's the antenna. Let's see, what does that say? Yeah, you can't see. There's a number on that. The number, you can kind of see it there, CHQB. Not sure if that's an antenna of some sort. Oh, that's a little, that's cute. So they soldered on this resistor here off the battery pack, but they didn't nip off the, that's pretty. Okay, yeah, they didn't nip off the lead. Well, I can fix that real quick. That's not related to the antenna functioning, but I highly doubt it. Let's just get that off there. Double check it's not doing anything useful. No. Just nip that off. Bye. Yeah, could get that a little closer to the... Yeah, they just forgot to nip off that resistor, but that's interesting. So the resistors are... It's coming straight off of the negative on the pack, going into the switch. Huh. Interesting. There you go. I'm sure there's others who might look at this who can better kind of see what's going on here. If I can get it in real close. Not used to videoing these things. Oh, come on, focus. Yeah. No, it's as good as it's going to get. Apparently, my focal length isn't that fantastic. Curious, does the chip have any... See, does the chip have any writing on it? No. I don't see any writing on the little chip. It's a little 8-pin microcontroller thingy. But I'm curious if this is like an antenna or if this is... I don't know why there wouldn't be a MOSFET or anything like that. That almost feels to me like it's the antenna for the remote somehow. I'd almost have to... How does this come apart? Yeah, if I were going to take this apart destructively, I could take off the circuit board here and look at the back, but it's heat staked on, and I'm not too interested in destroying this because I do want to use these. Yeah, I mean, overall, it looks like a decent quality device. It seems like, I will say though, I mean, for $8, well, for $17 for the two, so, you know, a little over $8 a piece. It might be a little a little expensive for that. Oh, that almost has to be the. Oh, it's an IR receiver. I'm an idiot. So that's interesting. So this is IR based. I thought this was RF for some reason. It's IR. Okay, this is an IR receiver. Duh. That's cool. Because yeah, I just noticed it has this little cutout in the lid for the receiver. So that's interesting. All right. Yeah, I mean it looks decent quality. Aside from that resistor lead that wasn't nipped off. Seems decent quality for what you get for $8 worth. This might be a bit much for that. Not quite enough for that price point. But that said, I mean, the flickering effect seems pretty cool. I'm curious how the timer works. I'm assuming this just tells the, yeah, I mean, it has to tell the chip to run for a certain time. And guessing, so that would probably be a crystal then. That probably determines that time. So yeah, that would probably count down the time for the chip. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an electronics expert. I just dabble a little bit. I know the basics of some of this, but little surface mount resistor there. Actually, I'm not sure if that's surface mount resistor or cap. How does this come around? So this comes, let's see. So positive battery down to switch. That's commoned. That's commoned under the couple of wires. Oh, that's weird. Wait, is that? Oh, that doesn't make any sense at all. So wait, so that's commoned off the switch lead. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to, I'm sort of working this out as I'm looking at it. I'm curious why these wires are doing what they're doing. There's a cap in here. What's the value on that cap? $22. So I'm assuming which side's which here? It's the ON, OF. That's negative third. You know, the third post isn't used in this. Just wondering why these wires. One side is coming off the cap. Someone better than me could probably figure out why that's doing that, or I may look at this a little closer later on and try to reverse engineer and figure out what's happening, because that's half the fun of this, obviously, taking stuff apart. But it's yeah, cool design. Like I said, probably probably get a little bit better bang for your buck maybe off eBay, honestly, than picking this stuff off Amazon. But yeah, $17 looks decent, and the effect looks decent. I'm curious if the timer works decently. I'm also curious what this looks like inside of an actual pumpkin. I might throw up a picture of that later. Yeah, really curious to see how this looks in its intended use. So anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, just to talk to you later. So here's just a quick update to my previous installment here on these little LED, well, actually pumpkin lights. Well, they're marketed for pumpkin jack-o'-lantern use. I've repurposed them as just basic candles here for the moment until I actually carve a jack-o'-lantern this year, which I have yet to do. But here they are in a couple of mugs. I just grabbed these mugs out of the cupboard and chucked them up here and turned them on, and the effect is actually quite nice. It looks honestly very similar to a candle, all things considered. It's a very nice effect. It's a nice yellow light. It's a darker yellow than what you can kind of see here on video. It's a different temperature than what's coming up on the camera, but it's a very nice sort of. I'd say it's closer to like 2500 Kelvin, maybe 22, 23. I don't know. I'm not the greatest at color temperature in that realm, but anyway, no, they look good. What I'm going to do now, though, is actually test out the timer function. So I'm going to grab my dinky old phone here. Right now, see, I'm going to reset these to on. So it's interesting. What I found out with found out here with the remote is when you give a command to the microcontroller and the lights, they actually give a slight blink. So like if you say here, if you push the 2-hour button, note how they both blink. And it's also quite responsive. I've noticed with both of these, when you click the button, it's actually quite responsive on the button click. And both of them are getting the infrared signal, and you know, it's all good apparently. So I'm going to do though, I'm going to turn this back to ON, so it's reset. I'm going to set my timer to 2 hours, and then can't do this the most easily one-handed, but go ahead and push the, it'll be off by a second or two here, but push that, and push that. So be off by a second or so, but it's okay. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so quick update. We've got approximately minute 50 left on the timer. However, I decided to actually read the instructions. And oddly enough, so the lovely remote control here included with the LED candles, apparently, at least according to the instructions, we'll find out here in, minute 30, the 2H, which you would think would mean 2 hour, actually is a 4-hour timer. The 4H is actually a 5-hour. The 6H is a 6-hour, and the 8H is an 8-hour. So, quite possibly somewhat of a disconnect between the generic manufacturer of the remote, possibly, and, or at least not the remote itself, but, or at least the, whoever did the overlay for the remote, I would guess. And the microcontroller itself, because I'm going to guess it had pre-programmed settings or whatever for those particular times. Well, I don't know, they have programmed it themselves. Whatever, in any case, somewhat of a disconnect there. 2H means 4 hours, 4H means 5 hours. But the other feature I didn't know about until I read this is it's actually a repeating timer, apparently. It will repeat every... well, for example, on the 4-hour, on the 2H-4-hour setting, it will repeat every 20 hours, apparently, that's kind of cool. Same thing with the 4H, 6H, etc. Repeats at every whatnot interval there. So we're about 4 seconds. Let's see. Oh! Okay, instructions are wrong. Well, that was completely fruitless. So the instruction sheet was... wrong. Awkward. But on the plus side, it worked. The timer was reasonably accurate to a second or two. Like I said, I set the timer a little sooner than the rest of it. So, yeah, 2 hours worked then, and never mind. So yeah, take that into account. Then the instruction sheet is completely wrong. Sweet.